Hello guys, it's my hope you're doing great. My name is Kaska and today I've come up with this tutorial of which we're going to look on high-end skin retouching, and basically we will start from the scratch where we will see each and every process that are in there. That is to say, we're going to look on frequency separation, we're going to look on dodge and burn, we're going to look on how we can color grade this image. Okay, a point to remember, or I want to remind you, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so, because when you subscribe, whenever I post new tutorial, you'll get to be notified and you won't miss the tutorial that I usually made each and every end of the week. So it's very important, guys, to subscribe. So right here we have a beautiful portrait or beautiful model. This portrait has been shot by a photographer called Joseph Mayer and has been shot by Canon 6D. So I'll be the one who is going, or I'll be the one who will touch this image from start to finish. We shall see the outcome where we will reach. So let's be together. If you have a notebook, it's very good that you note down all the process we discuss here. So let's proceed now. As you can see right here, portrait is very fine and good. So a point to consider that if you're a raw user or a camera, if you are a photographer that you always use raw settings, this is a point to consider. First of all, we need to change the profile color of this of these settings here. As you can see, it's on Adobe color, but we need to change it from Adobe color to Adobe landscape. That is very important. As you can see, this is our initial state. We need to know that we need to change the profile color. So I recommend, if you are using raw settings, this is a very important option. All right, I usually don't do color grade at this early beginning, so I'll simply open my image. So after we change the profile color from Adobe color to Adobe landscape, this is how it is. We are starting like this. So first of all, we need to crop our image. You press C or select the crop option, and at the size of Instagram, it is 4:5, 8:10. That's a very important to consider. So we're going to crop our image like that, like that. So that is fine. All right. Now we are going to start from this early beginning. We need to understand that I usually do start frequency separation method, then I followed by dodge and burn, then followed by color grading, and so forth. So we're going to start on frequency separation process. First of all, we need to understand that frequency separation needs to have two layers. That's to say, you need to have high frequency layer and low frequency layer. So by doing so, we need to duplicate our background layer into two. So I'll drag my background color down here, then I'll make the copies, two copies. One will be for high frequency and the second one will be for low frequency. All right, so after we make the high frequency and low frequency, we need to deal now on low frequency. That is to say, we need to apply the Gaussian blur on the low frequency. By doing so, we need to make invisible of the high frequency layer. Then we come to filter, then blur, then Gaussian blur. So we need to add Gaussian blur effect on low frequency layer. So I believe that is very clear, and you understood me very well. So at this point now, we're going to drag our radius Gaussian blur into 0. Then we're going to look to a surface of the skin which has details, so much details like that. I usually like this place, but as you can see, there are less details. So I look into another surface. As you can see here, there are a lot of details and textures. So I will drag and see them very well as I zoom in. Then I will adjust my radius value to a point that our details I'll make them disappear, not completely disappear, but they must be at least um, at least disappeared, but not completely, as you can see. And also you must make sure that if your image has 6 or 7 MB and above, your radius level should be not less than 5, should be above. So, and my image here has almost 11 megabytes, so my radius level should be above 5. So that's very important to consider. I believe you understood me. So 5.4 is very nice for me. Yeah. Now we are going to make visible of the high frequency layer. Okay. As I told you, always high frequency layer is always deal with the details and textures, and low frequency it deal with the color. So on the high frequency now we're going to add or we are going to apply our image. So by applying image, we are going from select the image, then apply image. On this applying option image, from here we're going to allocate where the details should be merged on, or where we place the details and textures, yeah, like that. So I believe you understood me. So you're going to place, as you can see here, we have several settings here. We need to make sure that we save them correctly as follow. First of all, from this layer option, as you can see, it's merged. We're going to select. So from this point now, we're going to select low frequency. Why we select low frequency? That we need our, as I told you, high frequency deal with the details and textures. So our details and texture, we're going to merge them into low frequency layer. So as you can see here, we're going to select low frequency. That is to say, details and textures will be merged on the low frequency layer. So we're going to change the blending option from multiply to add. That is very important. Opacity, we leave it 100. Scale 2, offset 0. Preserve transparent and mask. Never check these two boxes. Then check the invert box. Then hit OK. I believe that is very clear for me and for you guys. So we change the layer from where it's merged. Then we merge our textures and detail to low frequency layer. Then we change the blending option from multiply to add. Then make sure scale is 2, offset is 0, opacity is 100. Then you invert, then you hit OK. That is very important, guys. Don't forget that. After we apply our image, we're going to change the blending option of our high end, our high frequency layer from normal to linear light. Then I select the blending option. Where is the linear light? It's right here. So that's how it is. Now our high frequency and low frequency layers are ready. Now we need to duplicate the high frequency and the low frequency. Simply from the low frequency we drag down here and we make a copy of it, and the high frequency again we drag them. As you can see, after we've dragged the high um, frequency copy, as you can see, there are a lot of textures that has been increased so much. You see, before, after, before, after. So we need to fix this thing. We need to change the blending option from linear light to normal. Then we're going to right click the high frequency copy and create a clipping mask. Right click, then create a clipping mask. That's very important. As you can see, our textures has been resolved like that. So now we are free to go. First of all, I'll make them all these layers into group. So I'll hold Control or Command if you're using Mac. Then I'll highlight all the layers. Then I'll drag them into the group. Now this group, I'll name it frequency separation. It's very important. Okay, as I usually advise you that after you've done all the process so far, make sure you save your workflow into PSD. So you save your workflow into PSD. This will help you if you you went through, let's say, power shortage or Adobe Photoshop crash suddenly. So you will simply load your PSD file instead of starting over creating low frequency layer, high frequency layer, starting adjusting Gaussian blur and whatever. So you simply load your PSD file, then you proceed. So that's very important, guys. Now let's proceed. As you can see right here, we have low frequency already, high frequency already, all the layers are ready. From this point now, we need to first of all, we need to make the color matching of the skin all over the skin. We need to make the matching of the skin. As you can see, there are several different colors from our skin, and we need a uniform color. So we need to resolve all the imperfection of the color skin here. By doing so, we need to add the blank layer between the low frequency and the high frequency here. We need to add the blank layer, then we name it color matching. Color matching, yeah. So from this layer now, we are going to fix all the imperfections of the different color, and we'll make the color uniform. So point to remember is that color matching, we need to change the blending option of it from normal to color. And then we're going to pick a brush, a normal brush, and we make sure opacity is 10. Yeah, like that. And also we need to zoom a little bit our image, and we are going to pick a sample of a color of which will resemble our entire image. So we're going to pick to a place or a skin surface which is not too dark and also is not too light. So we're going to hold Alt on our keyboard. As you can see, this dropper icon appeared. Then you're going to select wherever we want to match, wherever we need to match, wherever. So to my side here, I'm going to pick this side is fine for me, which is not too light, also it's not too dark. This side, let's say This side also is fine. This side also is fine. Also, this is fine. So yeah, let me pick this part now. After I hold that, select that option. So I'll make sure opacity is 10 and changing the blending option from normal to color. That's very point to consider. Now we apply our brush in order to make fixing of the color of the skin. So this is very important to consider. We don't want different colors. We want uniform color, uniform. That's very, very, very important. We will apply all over the skin except for the lips. Okay. Make sure you consider each and every step so as you will get the good results. All right. So all right, I think that is very fine for me. Let's see before and after. Okay, this is before, this was the after. Before, after. So our fixation of color has been done perfectly. Now we are going deeper on frequency separation method. Now we are going to duplicate another blank layer and we're going to name it smoothing, as we're going to smooth the skin. Now we're going to pick the mixer brush and make sure the settings are as same like this. Your settings must be the same, just like this. Make sure first of all screen brush. Never check this first button, first brush. Leave it only the second brush. Make sure screen also. Weight put 5%. Load 25%. Mix put 50%. Flow put 50%, and also check this sample all layers. That's very important. Then we need to go now on doing the frequency separation as for. Before we start, make sure you make it invisible, the high frequency here. Then you start now doing the blending. Okay, make sure also your blend separate, as I can say that you blend highlights and shadows alone, so don't mix the shadows and highlights together. So simply like that, we're going to do the frequency separation. You do shadows and highlights alone, and make sure you don't do rush. Just make it slow and perfect, slow and sure. All right. Make sure you do very, very, very slow and never do it quickly. Slow and smart and sure. As you can see right here, we do blending of highlights alone and shadows alone. Okay, now we go to the neck. Also apply the same, like you blend highlights alone and shadows alone. Okay, so all right, that's very fine for me. Just I'll apply um, um, a little bit blending just to make sure everything is right. So this is really a smoother blending, yeah, like that. So now I'm done. Also, let me apply on the hair thing here. All right, let me now make it visible, high frequency layer. So as you can see, all right, this is a before, this is after. See, the results is amazing. It's very amazing. This is before, this is after. See, it's very nice, very nice. Now let's go and remove our blemishes. As you can see, all these bigger blemishes, we're going to remove them. That will as you can see here, there's this skin, I don't know, this is um, wrinkle or what, but we are going to fix all imperfection of the skin. So simply, as I told you, high frequency deals with textures and all the details. So the high frequency, we're going to select it, and we're going to select the clone stamp tool, or simply press S on your keyboard. Then we're going to zoom a little bit on your image. Then make sure your clone stamp tool size is bigger than the blemishes or the blemish. Then hold Alt on your keyboard to select the sample or a place of the skin where it has no blemishes, like that. Then you will remove the blemish, simple like that. Hold Alt to take a sample of the skin where has no or has less blemishes. Then you simply clear all the details or clear the textures or blemishes, not textures. We need textures on our photo. We clear blemishes. So I hold Alt and remove that blemish. Hold Alt, remove blemishes, like that. Like that. Hold Alt, remove, hold Alt, remove, Alt, remove, hold Alt, remove, hold Alt, remove, like that, like that. It's very important. So we'll do to a point that you see now it's fine. So we remove all the big blemishes, simple like that. All right, as you can see here, we've fixed a lot of a lot of blemishes. See, yeah, hold Alt, select the blemishes and it will disappear. Hold Alt to select um, the place or surface of the skin, then we'll remove all the blemishes like that. Alright, now we're going to remove this mark, or I can say, what is this now? What do I call it? I can call it wrinkle, skin wrinkle. I hold Alt on this side, then as you can see, we're going to sample all this surface, and we're going to replace on this mark. As I hold Alt, then I'm going to remove it like that. See, has been disappeared. Hold Alt again, remove all the blemishes that make you feel unhappy. You remove them like that. Also, again on this, I'm going to remove it. Yeah, that's very, very nice. I like this process very much because it is interesting. I like this process of blemish removal. It's very amazing. All right, I'm going to remove all the blemishes that make me feel they're not supposed to be right here. So, all right, after I've done that, all right, I think it's very fine now for my blemishes. All right, let me go on this part now. There are a lot. There are a lot, so I'll do the same. Nothing is different. Hold Alt, take a sample of this, then I'll remove the blemish. Alright, so see, that's how we do blemish removal. Okay, there are a lot on the chest. There are a lot. So I'll simply do the same process, of which I'll move all the blemish. Excuse me. So I'll move them just like that. Just like that. Okay. Alright, that's fine. It's very, very fine. Now we have done our frequency separation process. Then we're going to end there on frequency separation. We've done so far. Let's see before and after. This is before, this was after. This was before. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is after. So the changes are amazing. Now we are going to do another process of dodge and burn. Okay, first of all, we are going to save our workflow into PSD, so that will help our um, our flowing. So as for dodge and burn, we need to create the curves layer of dodge and burn, of which as dodge and burn, dodge is for highlights and burn is for shadows. So dodge and burn process simply makes the highlights and shadow pop out on our image. So we need to duplicate the curve layer from the adjustment layer. So simply select the adjustment layer, then select curve, make two curve. So I'll duplicate another curve layer, one for dodge, another one for band. I'll make them into one group now. Hold them, then I'll drag them into the group icon. Then I'll name it dodge and band. So like that. As I told you, dodge is for highlight, band is for shadows. Now for dodge, I'll change the blending option from normal to screen. You see a lot of light. Then I'll select the layer mask, then I'll invert. For band now, as I told you, it's for shadows. So I change the blending option from normal to multiply. See a lot of shadows. So I select the layer mask again, then I'll invert. Now on dodge and band, we need to have two groups layer, one for global dodge and band, another one for local dodge and band. So we are going to duplicate the dodge and band layer. So I'll drag them, then I'll make another copy of dodge and band, of which this one will be for global dodge and band, and another one will be for local dodge and band. So someone may ask you, why global dodge and band, why local dodge and band? All right, so simple as that. Just answer. Local dodge and band is for making all the lights imperfections. We make resolve of lights imperfection, lights, and I can say highlights and shadows. For example, for dodge, we will make sure that on the highlights surfaces where we see shadows that has I can say has struck the highlights. Whenever we see the shadows that has been found on the highlights position or highlight surface, we're going to simply resolve by dodge. And for band, whenever we found highlights on shadows surface, we're going to fix with this band. So simply local dodge and band, is we're going to resolve all imperfections of highlights and shadows. So whenever we see highlights on shadows, or whenever we see shadows and highlights, we're going to fix with this local dodge and band. And global dodge and band, we're going to fix, or we're going to make a general, or I can say the entire skin highlights and shadows. So the pop out of the skin, or the general highlights and shadows pop out, or yeah, I can say pop out of highlights and shadows, we're going to fix with dodge and band, global dodge and band. So simply like that. But the point to remember is that we're going to start with local dodge and band, then we finalize with global dodge and band. But before we start any further local dodge and band or global dodge and band, we're going to need a black and white color that will enable us to see the highlights and shadows very perfectly. So we're going to the black and white color is found here on this adjustment layer. Then we select solid color. Now we're going to drag our color picker here to some places here. Then we're going to adjust the B value into 15. So then we hit OK. Make sure it's outside, and change the blending option from normal to color. So now this is black and white color, which will enable us, as you can see here, we see highlights and shadows correctly, and all the imperfections, as I told you, that we see highlights, we see shadows on highlights, as you can see here. Yeah, so as you can see here, shadows, highlights, shadows, highlights. So this black and white color is very important. However, you can use without this black and white, but I suggest to use this to get a perfect result. So let me not talk too much. Let's proceed. So we're going to start with the local dodge and burn. Then I'm going to pick a normal brush. Then we're going to adjust a smallest value of opacity. 2 is fine for starting local dodge and burn. Now, as I told you, we're going to fix whenever we see imperfections. We're going to start with dodge. So in dodge, whenever we see burn on highlights, we're going to fix with this. So as you can see here, there are a lot of burns on highlights, so we're going to fix like that. All right, also here there are a lot of burn. I believe you understood me, and you get me very well. Also here there's highlights. All right, okay, there's highlights here. These places all are for highlights. All right, let's go for burn now. See, there are a lot of highlights on burn, on shadows. So simple like that, you pick a burn, then you remove all the lights and highlights that has been intervene or strike the shadows. So as you can see, whenever you see highlights on shadows, remove them with local dodge and burn. So now let's go to global dodge and burn now. Then we'll use opacity into 1. Now this is going to make the general pop out of the dodge and burn like that. As for dodge, you're going to apply from all on highlights places or highlight surface. So simple like that. So that's how we do global dodge. Also, we're going to global burn now. On all shadows surface, we're going to apply burn. We put or we make sure the levels of opacity is very low. So as we get seamless results. So that's why we like using smallest opacities. Okay. um that's for band now. Make it slowly, don't rush, don't rush. So also on the lips, yeah, I was trying to forget them. Okay, on the hair too. Okay, so that's how we do global dodging band. Now we're going to delete the color, solid color, and that's our results now for global dodge and band. So we've done a file. Let's see before and after. This is the before of all of this. So this is the after of dodge, I can say global dodge and local dodge and band. So now from now this point, now we are going to color grade our image and make everything, every color of the skin look um, amazing. So we're going to apply the color grading process. So simply like that, we're going to before we start color grading, we're going to save our workflow into PSD file. Okay, then we are going to proceed on color grading process. Simply, we're going to merge our layers by placing, first of all, let's group our global dodge and band group. Then we're going to name it dodge and band, dodge and band. Then we're going to merge all our layers by pressing Ctrl Shift Alt E if you're using Windows, or if you're using Mac, press Command Shift Alt E. Then we're going to change this layer, or we're going to convert into smart object. Simply right click, then convert to smart object. Then we are going to camera raw filter. Come to filter, then select camera raw filter. Okay, to this point now, we're going to adjust some exposures, highlights, shadows. So as I told you, always you need to adjust on your, I can say, your editors. You are the editor, so you are going to adjust wherever you see, or wherever you want to enhance or you want to reduce. It's your choice because you are the editor. So on the color grading, it's has no I can say has no fixed process, or there is no limitation on how you can calculate and make your skin tone look perfectly. So just maintain your naturality of your workflow. So simply like that, I can say on my views, okay, my photo, I want it to look a little bit warmer because it's very cold. So I'll add some temperature like that, a little bit, not too much. And I'll add some exposure a little bit. All right, and now I'll do some highlights. I think it's very fine for me. Then I'll add some shadows. All right, okay, whites I don't need, so I'll add some I'll do some blacks a little bit. So I'll add So if you increase my means that you add whites. So if you reduce blacks, mean you add blacks. So I'll add blacks on my photo. Then textures, clarity, I don't need them. Okay, the hairs, I'll add the hairs. A little bit, not too much. Around 4 is very fine. Alright. Then vibrancy is very important. I'll add into 2. As you can see, then I'll reduce a little bit saturation. Okay, let me make it 2. Now I'll come to HCL adjustment. I'll add some reds. Alright, I'll give you what I'm doing here. I give you concept, so you'll adjust according to your preference and your choice. So I'll add some orange. Alright, then a little bit yellows I'll add. Then aquas, green. Okay, let me add some aquas. Then and I'll add blues. Okay, like that. And finally I'll add some magenta. Okay, on split toning I'll add 2. Then I come to color calibration. I'll add some blue primary saturation right here. So 13 is very fine for me, as you can see. Yeah, so let's see before and after. This is before, where we came from, and this is where we are. So that's how it is, how I calculate it. Although you can make more than this because of your choice. So it is not limited that you should end here. So you could make more and more and more calculating as far as you are the editor. So you will choose which taste, which tone, or which flavor do you want. So I'll save the settings here. I simply save. No, I'm not loading because I have not saved yet. I'll save my settings and I'll save. You'll choose whenever, or you'll choose each name, or you'll choose any name you need. I'll save Casca. There are a lot of Cascas. The last one was 2028, now it's 2029. So I'll save. And if I want to apply my settings here, so I'll simply come here and load. Then no, I'll simply come into presets options here. Okay, I'll look where is Casca 2029. It's here. So this is our settings. So I simply select, then I'll commit change. So it's good if you always save your workflow in case of anything. Maybe you undergo power shortage or the Adobe crashes. So you will simply come and load, and then you proceed with your workflow. So this is our final results. Now we're going to commit change by hit OK. So now let's see before. This is before, this is after. Now we have done color grading of our image. Alright, we are free to go. And now we are almost done. So another last thing here, we need to add the skin glow. The skin glow of the skin, we need to make sure that we make all surface of the skin look amazing by adding glowing. So by skin glow, we need to add this, the solid color or the color fill, which is found on the adjustment layer. So we select the adjustment layer, then we select the solid color. Okay, now we're going to drag the way up to the white color. Then we hit OK. Make sure it's white. Make sure it's white. Then we are going to put it into the group, and I'm going to name it skin glow. And now we are going to duplicate as many copies of the white solid color. Alright, we'll make it invisible and we'll leave only one. Then we're going to select the blending option of this first solid white solid color. By right click it and select the blending option. Alright, okay, from here we need to adjust the underlying layer. We are going to push the underlying layer from left to right, from the shadows to highlights. So I'm going to push the slider. So a point to remember that these are the shine or the glowing we need to add on the skin. So this is what we need. This one, and this one. So we're going to add as follow. We're going to start from here now. So we will adjust the slider to a point where you see it's fine. We're going to start right here. So zoom a little bit. Then we're going to push. So this is a perfect place here. After you adjust the slider to a point that you need your glowing to be, then we're going to hold Alt to separate the slider so as we get the seamless shine. Then the separated slider, we're going to push it way to the right. Then select OK. Then select the layer mask. Then invert. Pick your normal brush. Put opacity into 100. Now we're going to apply on this side here. Alright. That is the shine we need to apply. So that is very important. Okay. Let me reduce a little bit opacity to make it seamless. Okay, it is amazing. So this is how we add shine. Now we come to another solid white solid color. We'll make it visible. Then we right click and select blending option. I'll adjust my underlying layer. Alright, now we need this part. This part we're going to add shine. So this is fine for me. Hold Alt. Then I'll drag my the separated slider. Then I'll hit OK. Select the layer mask again. Then invert. Okay. Then I'll apply shine like that. Okay. I'll use a little bit of opacity. Alright, that's very fine. I come to another white solid color. Make it visible. Then I right click and select blending option. I'll push. Alright, now I need this part here. Hold Alt. Select the layer mask and then invert. Pick your brush. Then I'll use some opacity a little bit to make it seamless. Okay, I'll come to another white solid color. Right click and select the blending option. Now I need this part now. Alright, so this part will come to the forehead. Hold Alt, then push your slider way forward. Okay. Simple like that. So reduce a little bit opacity. Alright. So I think that's very fine for me. Now let me delete the rest of the solid color layer. So that's how we add shine on our skin. So let's see before and after. This was before, this was after. So there um uh, a beautiful look that we add since we add the shine. So it's very important to consider all the processes here. So that's how you can do a lot of, or you can add the shine as more as you want. Okay, now let's go on sharpening now. I think we are almost done, but before doing sharpening, we have to do a little bit eyes whitening here. We're supposed to make eyes look white and clean. I have an action here which I will apply, and you will find them. Oh, sorry. We need to first of all make the application of it. All right. The eye and teeth whitening of the whitening action will be available on the description. The link will direct you to download this action, so don't miss this action. Simply you load your eye and teeth whitening action, and make sure opacity is 100, flow is 100. Now you simply clean your eyes just like that. So the action is available there, so you can download it. Simple and clean. So you will fix your eyes which were red and will be white. This is before and after. So this is our after now. How we can fix our eyes reddish and teeth also. Also now we can come to make sharpen of it, of which we're going to duplicate again, Control Shift Alt E or Command Shift Alt E. Then we're going to convert our layer into smart object. Right click, then convert into smart object. Come to filter, then come to sharpening, then come to unsharp mask. So this is where we finalize our image by make it look sharp and our details be amazing and be pop out very good. So we're going to adjust. We're going to first of all drag the amount of sharpening into 1. So this is minimum sharpening. Now we're going to drag our amount of sharpening. I usually like to put on 30s. To my photo here, 34 is very fine for me. Then I'll hit OK. So that's how we add sharpening, and that's how it is we have done so far, and we have ended up with sharpening process. So Basically, after I've done each and everything, now we're going to save it. um we're going to save in a point that it won't change our color. So if you're raw user, or you prefer using raw settings, this is how you are going to save your photo without changing of the color. So we're going to save by selecting file, then export, then export as. So this is how you can save your image without losing or changing of the color. So let us wait our image um to load. Okay, this is our image now, has been loaded successful. Now this is the format. Make sure it's JPEG. I usually prefer using quality of 100. Width, height, and scales are fine. So example here, I usually prefer my image to look sharper, so I select by cubic sharper. Okay, this is very important. My widths and height remain same, the pixel remain same. Metadata, I usually put none. I don't want my details to appear on the camera information. So I'll tick this convert to RGB color. Then I'll tick the embedded color profile. Then I will export, simple like that. I will export, of which you choose the location where you want to save your image, then you save. So the final image, it will appear the same, of the color of it will be the same and won't change. So that was the first option. Another option of which you can save without changing of the color of your portrait, you come again into file, then export, then save forever. So this is another step which will be helpful to you, and your image won't change the color. So let's wait as our image load. Okay, our image loaded successful. So same as that first option, make sure it's JPEG. Quality is 100. I usually prefer 100, so you can change wherever quality you need. The convert to RGB, you check this button. Preview should be a monitor color. Metadata, I told you I usually put none. The width and height remain the same. Pixel is 100. You leave it in 100. Quality, as I told you, I usually select or choose by cubic sharper. I want sharper results. So you can choose wherever you want here, but mine is by cubic sharper. Then I'm going to save my image, of which I'm going to look or I'm going to choose the location where I want my image to appear. Then I'll save. Okay, there are two already. I'll save like that, simple like that. So that is how we have done the saving. So as so far we look frequency separation, we come for dodge and burn, we do color grading, we have done adding shine of the skin here. Also we've done cleaning of the eyes. As I told you, the action is down on the description, so you can download it via that link for free. And finally we did sharpening. So I believe now you are aware of all these processes. Now marks the end of our high-end skin retouching tutorial. I believe now you are aware of all the things. So you have left with the issue of practicing. Guys, you need to practice more and more and more. So in order to become familiar with this process, you need to practice a lot of practicing. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share also. If you have your fellow that usually struggle with high-end skin retouching, just share with them of this tutorial. Also, don't forget to practice, as I already told you. If you practice more, it will be best. So let's see before and after. This is before, where we started, where we've started, and this is the after, where we ended. So that is how we do high-end skin retouching. I wish you the best. Keep creating more and more. Don't forget to subscribe, and I wish you the best. And also, a point to remember is that frequent separation, I can say high-end skin retouching is the best. Is the best. That's why I told you guys you need to practice more and more. Okay, let me not talk too much. I wish you all the best. God bless you.